Very good afternoon. Myself, V.L. Sureshbabu, Assistant Professor, PG Research Department of Commerce, K.S.Rangasamy College of Arts and Science, Autonomous. Today my topic is regarding consideration. The consideration is a form of return. The return may be in a form of money, property, service, work performed, or a promise to do and not to do. It can be of anything that should have a value. As per the definition given by Blackstone, a consideration is a recompense given by the party contracting to the another. As far the recompensing is nothing but the repayment that has to be done for a work and that has been done by a party for a contracting of work done. That is the definition that has been given by Blackstone. The next heading, what you are going to see, that is the types of consideration. The types of consideration has been classified into three. The first one is an executory or a future consideration. The second one is the executed or a present consideration, and the last one is the past consideration. As for the executory or a future consideration, it means that it takes a form of promise that has to be performed in future. And for example, if a person promises to deliver the goods in future. The second point is executed or present consideration. It implies to a consideration where simultaneously with the promise that has to be done at once. At once, it means that whenever the goods has been delivered to the concerned person, the value or the payment has to be done at once. The last point is the past consideration. The past consideration is a consideration where the promise has been given before. For example, if A does some work to B on February, the payment that has to be given by B promises to pay the particular amount in March. The next heading, what you are going to see, that is the nature of consideration. The nature of consideration has been classified into two. One, it is said to be known as the unilateral, and the second one is the bilateral. The unilateral, in a sense, after the contract gets over, if the consideration moves from only one direction, then it is said to be known as a unilateral consideration. As far the bilateral consideration is concerned, after the contract gets over, the consideration moves from either direction in both the ways, then it is said to be known as a bilateral consideration. The next heading, what I am going to see, that is the essentials of consideration under the Indian Contract Act of 1872. Here we are going to see about only 5 points. The first point, the consideration should move from the desire of the promisor. The second point, the consideration should move from the promisee or any other person. The third point, the consideration should be a real consideration and not an illusionary consideration. Fourth point, the consideration of an agreement must be a lawful consideration. The last point, that the consideration is not necessary to be adequate. When you get into a long and brief scenario, the consideration should move at a desire of a promisor. As far the consideration where the promisor alone he himself has to decide what he can do. It should not be influenced by any other person or by any third party. If it has been done in such a manner, that is said to be known as an invoid. That is not a valid contract. And moreover, as far the desire of the promisor should be based on agreement. The second point, the consideration should move from a promisee or any other person. As far the promisee himself can give the amount to a person who has done the work or any other. For example, if the parent has to give money for a work that has been done in a home, either the parents can give the money or the children or the male or the female can give the money to the person who the work has been done. That is said to be known as a consideration moves from a promissory to any other person. The third one, the consideration should be a real consideration or not a illusionary consideration. And moreover, the consideration in a form of real consideration should be a real one, not for a namesake. The fourth point, the consideration of an agreement must be a lawful consideration. As for the lawful consideration is nothing but whatever the work that has been done should be a law, where the law should be there, where the agreement should be there, where the contract should be there, each and everything that comes under the Indian Contract Act of 1872. The last point, the consideration is not necessary to be adequate. The consideration not to be adequate in a sense where the parents can sell a house or a property to his legal heirs either at the face value, can sell the amount at the face value. For example, if the cost of the house is 1 lakh, either the particular person or the can give the land for a house for 1 crore or for 50 lakhs. In such a way, it is said to be known as a consideration not necessary to be adequate. Thank you.